All right, so I saw this article on Instagram. They're saying that that humans are going to live forever, just what we need, with robot surgeons. All right, so obviously, you guys know I'm going to say MBOT. So bullish on MBOT. They're going to have their earnings on Wednesday, and I highly doubt they're going to announce the approval of their nanobots, but they are going to give updated data. Talk about how far they are with the approval. Well, they aren't exactly sure. And obviously, their reported EPS, they will have a loss because they're waiting on their nanobots to be approved. And they're supposed to be approved Q2. So if we look up Liberty Nanobots, the efficacy is looking nice. They submitted it in December. So the time is coming that the FDA has to approve this. They're considered, that was 2 years ago. So it's been a long road for MBOT. And back if you look 5 years ago, they did have some other robots that they were dabbling with. But this one, here we go. First one to get the FDA acceptance. And we already know, if we do MBOT robots, I don't know if it's going to come up like this. We want Microbot Medical Nano Robot. They have excellent data coming out for this. Excellent precision, we can say. Wait, I want the news. They're rated top 10, and their ratings are good from analysts. People are excited for this. Coordinates to achieve feats of strength. I don't know if that's theirs. But after I looked at this article, right, I started to look up other robot stocks. Now, another one, you obviously have Intuitive, right? That one's over 400 a share, no dividend. You have these guys. BDX. Now, they're definitely on a down, as you can see, because their last earnings were not very liked by, Wall Street. But here, they have a 2.2% dividend. And part of their stuff, okay, is they're known for medical devices, diagnostics, laboratory equipment, and they made strides in robotics and automation, and portfolio in robotic surgery is limited compared to Intuitive and Vicarious Surgical. And we could say they're trying to enable the technology and automation in clinical and pharmacy settings rather than direct surgical robots for procedures like those used in soft tissues or orthopedic. So you could maybe say that they could be poised with their platforms and stuff. So MBOT getting approved could actually do big things for BDX. And just, if this is supposed to be the future of medicine that everyone keeps telling us, we might be able to say this is interesting. They also have this BD-CATO, which supports robotic systems in compounding, which can indirectly aid surgical settings by ensuring precise preparation of medications or IV solutions. They have a lot of technology here. This one, automated dispensing robots of digital solutions for pharmacies, streamlining medication management from ordering to patient dispensing. So BDX could be an interesting robot guy with a decent little dividend there. I'm adding them to my watch list. I just want to watch what they do because they definitely are on a down. But this one obviously is a pricier one. Another one that's pretty set up too, besides Intuitive, is going to be this one. And this one has a dividend. A small dividend, but still. This is what these surgical robot companies start to do when they take off. Very exciting. 0.83% dividend. And then this one's going to be RBOT. That was the one that's mentioned in this article where they're saying here that where it said Intuitive limited to companies like Vicarious Surgical. I kind of like that name. So these guys, that is, and I mean, you could say on a yearish low, but no dividend, obviously. And they had, which engages in affecting emerging capital stocks. Wait a minute. It also designs surgical robots. That's kind of a weird thing for this to say. And then if we looked at their earnings, so here's going to be their summary. A next generation robotic surgical system designed for minimally invasive procedures through a single small incision. It features proprietary, everybody loves proprietary actuator technology, human-like robotic arms, and 3D camera integrated virtual reality. The system aims to overcome limitations of open, laparoscopic, and existing robotic approaches. Intuitive Surgical's Da Vinci. All right, they are pre-commercial. awaiting FDA clearance. The company is refining the system for its first clinical patients, expected later in 2025, with a focus on general surgery, gynecology, and urology applications. RBOT is not yet selling the Vicarious system. They are preparing for an F10 submission with clinical trials planned for 2025 to support regulatory approval. Commercial sales are anticipated. So that's why they do all the other holding stuff. So they are they haven't even handed in the application yet. So they have no revenue reported, consistent with their pre-commercial. Not yet cleared. Totaled 15.7 million, slightly down from 16.1, barely. Net loss adjusted was 15 million. Cash and investments stood at 37 million with a quarterly cash burn of 11 million. This suggests cash runway. See, we should watch these guys because they could do a funding raise or something, maybe even a reverse split or whatever they might do. I don't know, a reverse split at $7, that's kind of unlikely. But they could do something to raise money, capital. People don't like that. Their stock goes down, and then people could maybe get in. Ooh, but this announced a collaboration with UMass Memorial Medical Center to refine operation protocols. That is exciting. The company is a few quarters away from its first clinical patients. That's what they said at their earnings, which was a couple weeks ago. A few quarters away. I wonder how. See, look at that. They did their reverse split in June. And then this one, Vicarious says first robot trials remain on track. Wait, so supply issues, tariff stuff. So this could definitely still continue to drop them a bit. Fourth quarter results include an update. The shares rose to $9.98 a piece after the market close, and they're saying base develops robot aimed at increasing efficiency. Well, when is it supposed to be? So previously eyed human trials midway through this year, but pushed the timeline. In March, the company maintained its timeline to have ready for FDA submission by early to mid fiscal 2026. So that once they hand in the application, it's only like six months after. So I don't know what they're going to be doing, but they could definitely be. Wait, according to Zimmerman, today cited material procurement issues with some suppliers that delayed the build out of the system. As a result, management expects the first patients treated by the end of 2025, rather than the previous suggested mid to late 2025. That also pushes its submission expectations back a bit to late fiscal 2026. But I don't understand why they're so much pricier than MBOT when they're even less away. And here they have 6 ratings, no sell ratings. That's still usually a decent sign on public. And then they got Piper Sandler seems to love them. But these could be another big game with all of this, all of the robot talk, all of the surgical robot. So I'm going to watch these guys, definitely. And then I found a tiny one. That I thought looked interesting. This one is going to be EKSO. And this, 37 cents. certainly on a down. And they're going to design, this one says the exoskeleton thing, but I also saw something, this I thought was interesting. Accepted into NVIDIA Connect program May 15th. I like anything that Jensen likes, I really do. They're going to be an industry leader in exoskeleton technology for medical and industrial use. Today is announced its acceptance. The company plans to use valuable tools and resources provided by this prestigious NVIDIA program to support a new strategic initiative to build a proprietary foundation for model for human motion. I have no idea what they're even talking about with this. And members gain, so this is what they get, and they get the access to NVIDIA's GPU platforms, which is huge, a global ecosystem, huge. They're a leader in exoskeleton solutions that amplify human potential by supporting or enhancing strength, endurance, and mobility across medical and industrial applications. Exobionics is the only known exoskeleton company to offer technologies that range from helping those with paralysis to stand and walk. I definitely think that's a good thing. I really, really do. I like stuff like that. Wait, I saw something about like how now EKSO, they did not have the best earnings. They had this would have been their recent one, definitely had a loss. But I feel like that NVIDIA stuff it could be a game changer for them for sure. That just got announced the other week. And, well, wait, their Q2 that was before the record sales. So that's why it does look like they're losing money. Because, yeah, if accurate, it marks significant improvement. But wait, the article doesn't specify, but Post-Remex site APS 0.09, which is accurate, improvement. Net loss, don't have a loss, reported at 3.2. Stable or reduced losses. Cash position, restricted cash rose 8.1 million. That could have been from the NVIDIA stuff. 37% increased pipeline in Medicare beneficiaries. That's problematic, especially with what Congress wants to do. For the EKSO Endico personal device, signaling growing demand in-home use. New distribution partners, that's always good. And then acceptance into the NVIDIA Connect program. Huge. It develops exoskeletons focusing on enhancing, unlike RBOT, surgical robot products are wearable robotics for rehabilitation and workplace support. I just don't understand. I don't know if this is going to really like pick up, but I guess it is good for all these mobility. People do have mobility issues, so maybe, and the fact that Jensen is into these guys, I just think that is a big to do. If this starts to take off, I think they could be exciting. They don't have any EKSO sells these products, unlike RBOT, has no commercial sales. It's the only known exoskeleton company offering solutions for both medical and industrial applications with FDA clearances and Medicare reimbursement for Indigo personal care. And then I guess you could say this is why Jensen is so into them. But look, 3 days ago, they're doing this stuff with NVIDIA. I think that is kind of a big deal. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And the fact that they're so cheap has me thinking. 37 cents. And their earnings were not like we had said, but this is the Jensen thing. Shot them up to 63 cents. And now back down to their original. Well, not original, but I mean low. These dudes are at certainly a year low. But with Jensen confidence, I don't know. What do people think? I don't know. This would be another one. This one's supposed to be doing prostate surgeries, but they're on a low. No dividend, funded in 2007, but they have this aqua beam robotic system. So that minimally invasive urologic surgery. So that one could be an interesting guy, maybe. You got another little guy here, another little teeny guy. Oh man, a teeny guy on a low. You got accuracy. Now this one, founded 1990, 166 million market cap. Not a lie there, right? Now here's their data. Total revenue was 104, up 1.8 year over year from 103. Product revenue rose 5% to 56, driven by strong demand for the CyberKnife, tomotherapy, and new Helix system. Service revenue remained flat. A 1.2 book-to-bill ratio, orders exceeding revenue, indicates sustained order momentum, particularly from our emerging markets, Pakistan, North Africa, APEC, China. The fact that China would want something that America's making is kind of a big deal because we usually aren't the best. I think reaffirm fiscal revenue guidance 462 to 476 million. 6 to 8% growth from fiscal 2024, which you have 434. Stock lost 19% over the past year, underperforming. Okay, see, that's not good. How would that be? They specialize in precision radiation oncology systems, integrating robotic technology for non-invasive cancer treatment. Unlike RBOT, surgical robot exoskeleton, ARAY's product delivers targeted radiation to tumors. Competing with companies like Varian Systems, Simians. This is a big guy. That's probably one of the reasons too. And robotic radiosurgery system treating tumors. It's FDA cleared and supported by extensive clinical literature of cancers. Then they have their radiosurgery, offering non-surgical alternatives for inoperable tumors, sold globally to hospitals and cancer centers with strong demand. U.S., Japan. I think this gun could also be interesting if, well, they have that big competitor. So that's the issue there. They do have, they have some decent news. 1 week ago, ARAY to bring patient-first cancer treatment innovations. CyberKnife debuts system in Austria. That is, and this is their big one, the latest obstacle. So the tariffs are clearly not good for Acura. But we could say, how much longer will that be? If these robot surgeons are really going to be our future here, is that one interesting as well? I don't know. You also have another dividend guy, and somewhat of a year down, but doing pretty well. Well, so far, their earnings beat dividend. Wait, that one was a while ago. Wait, optimal for 2025. Fargo raises price target by 29%. Strong market position, recent product approvals, and consistent dividend increase attract investors. So if you like dividend stocks and you like robotic stocks, these guys could be another interesting little buy there. MDT. They got a lot of nice articles about them, but this isn't obviously a lot of research here. I'm just throwing these out for you to look at. But I definitely, I'm so sold on MBOT, I got a lot. RBOT, I'm going to keep watching. I think they could do. And then the EKSO thing, that NVIDIA thing really has me going. Anything NVIDIA, I think, I don't know. And there was one, ARAY, there was one that was for cosmetics. This one was AVRA, and AVRA merged with SSII. And they are on a bit of a tear, somewhat. This one has a fully autonomous medical robot systems using proprietary software. Its software integrates artificial intelligence and deep learning machine learning, focuses on AI-enhanced robotics platform. 1.19 billion market cap. And wait, this was from May 14th, their first quarter. They're going to say, innovative developer, surgical, affordable, accessible global population, 3 months. Okay, revenue increased 40% to $5 million from 3.6 in first quarter 24. Gross profit 49% to $1 million from 0.7. Long-term debt of 0. Cash equivalents totaled $15 million. SSI Mantra cumulative install base total 78. Cumulative surgeries reached 3,568. I don't know. Dr. Sudhir, chairman of the board. In first quarter, we achieved record quarterly revenue of $5 million, up 40% from 3.86 million in first quarter. Driven by higher unit sales of our innovative cutting-edge SSI Mantra 3 surgical robotic system to leading healthcare facilities in India and abroad. India, the United States' new partner, bestie. Our gross margins also improved. I think the SSI Mantra 3 by medical professionals globally. These guys, that's kind of interesting. But they're not, and this one was there to submit deal. Ooh, wait a minute. This. Wait. If they had this, that was probably their big rise. Wait a minute. Is that it? Yes. This could have been when they handed in the application. They shoot to 1550 and now they're balancing back out. But wait. Is it? Where is it? To submit de novo application to the FDA for the SSI measure for multiple indications. That was May 8th. So, wait a minute. Affordable access, the company is planning to submit a DEVOA classification request in July. Ooh, if approved, the SSI Mantra would be cleared to market in the United States. Submission of the DEVOA classification request does not guarantee. That's exciting. These guys could also, that's probably why we have the shoot there. They started to talk about it. So then imagine what they would shoot to in July when they actually hand it in. So these guys could most definitely be a very interesting robotic stock. But if this hype about robot surgery is legit, then, and it seems that this runs a profitable company. That is a big market cap for 1.9 billion. That's almost 2 billion. And they're only at $9.84 a share. I find that to be quite intriguing. Quite intriguing.